Welcome back to Lincoln Currency, the channel, where we dive deep into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and fascinating pieces of history that could be sitting right in your pocket change right now. In today's video, we are talking about a coin that has made waves in the numismatic world, a tiny, seemingly ordinary 1-cent piece that's actually worth a massive fortune. I'm talking about the 2004 Lincoln penny. That's right, a coin minted just over 2 decades ago, still widely circulating, but under the right circumstances, it can fetch an eye-popping price tag. Some reports and auctions have linked certain rare versions of this coin to values soaring into the millions, with rumors and speculation even placing one specimen at a market value of up to $8 million. So what makes this penny so special? How does a copper-colored coin, originally worth just 1 cent, end up being more valuable than a Lamborghini, a mansion, or even a Picasso painting? Let's start with some background. The 2004 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. In 2009, the reverse of the coin was changed to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's bicentennial. But in 2004, the coin still bore the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse, originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 for the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The mint mark, D, refers to the Denver Mint, one of the primary production facilities of the United States Mint. In 2004, billions, that's right, billions, of pennies were struck. So at first glance, it sounds impossible that any one of these could be worth more than a few cents at best. But as with many collectible coins, the devil is in the details. Or in this case, in the errors. You see, not all 2004 Lincoln cents are created equal. While the vast majority of these coins are completely ordinary and worth only face value, a very small number were struck with major minting errors, or were produced in such pristine condition that they caught the attention of collectors worldwide. And when rarity meets demand, the prices skyrocket. Let's talk about some of these features that have driven the value of certain 2004 pennies into the stratosphere. One of the most talked about error varieties involves what is known as a doubled die. Doubled die coins are created when a coin die, the tool used to strike a coin, has an error in its design. When this flawed die strikes a blank planchet, it leaves behind a doubled image. On pennies, this doubling can often be seen in the lettering, in phrases like, "In God we trust, liberty," or the date. Sometimes the doubling is subtle and requires magnification. But sometimes it's dramatic, and those are the coins that collectors lose their minds over. If you come across a 2004 penny with clear doubling, especially in high grade, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands, depending on demand and condition. Another factor that drives value is the strike quality and preservation of the coin. Mint state coins, those that have never circulated and still have their original luster, are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-70 is a perfect specimen, virtually flawless, with full detail, no contact marks, and sharp strikes. A 2004 penny graded MS-69 or MS-70 by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC is extremely rare. Most coins struck for circulation pick up nicks and scrapes along the way, so even finding one in MS-67 condition is tough. When collectors find a high-grade error coin, say, a double die in MS-68 condition, the bidding wars begin. But let's go even deeper. Some rumors and reports, though not confirmed by official sources like the US Mint, talk about a very small handful of 2004 pennies that were struck on experimental planchets. That means they were minted on the wrong type of metal, perhaps as part of a test run, or due to an accidental mixing of planchets intended for different coins. For instance, some error coins have been found struck on silver dime planchets, foreign coin planchets, or even transitional metals that were only briefly used. These kinds of errors are exceedingly rare and can drive up value beyond most people's imagination. Then there's the collector hysteria factor. In 2019, a single 1943 copper penny, a coin that was mistakenly struck in copper during a year when all cents were supposed to be made of steel, sold for over $1 million. Similarly, In 2021, a 1909 SVDB penny, one of the holy grails of coin collecting, sold for over $100,000 in high grade. These are all precedents that fuel the market for rare pennies. The idea that an everyday-looking coin could be worth life-changing money is intoxicating to collectors, investors, and the general public alike. And that's where the 2004 D Lincoln cent comes in. There have been reports of a particular 2004 D penny, a unique specimen, possibly a one-of-a-kind error or high-grade piece, that has been valued at over $8 million. The identity of the owner has not been publicly confirmed, and details are murky, but sources in the numismatic world suggest that a private collector or institution may have paid this astonishing amount to secure what is considered the rarest known version of this coin. Is it a myth? Is it real? While no major auction houses have published this sale officially, the rumor mill keeps turning. In any case, the publicity alone has driven up interest and prices for any and all high-quality 2004 D Lincoln cents. And then we have to consider market trends. Coin collecting, or numismatics, has exploded in recent years, fueled by YouTube channels, TikTok videos, Facebook groups, and online forums. Everyday people are learning that their pocket change might contain overlooked treasures. Combined with the rise of third-party grading services, marketplaces like eBay and heritage auctions, and the growing interest in alternative investments, coins have become a hot commodity. Investors are looking for hard assets, tangible pieces of history that can appreciate in value. And rare coins, especially US coins, have proven to be a surprisingly strong performing asset class. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 2004 D penny? First, don't clean it. Never, ever clean a coin. It can reduce its value significantly. Second, examine the coin under a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for signs of doubling, unusual coloration, off-center strikes, or other oddities. Third, weigh the coin on a precise scale. A normal 2004 D penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, it might be struck on the wrong planchet. And finally, consider sending the coin to a professional grading company for authentication and certification. Having your coin officially graded and encapsulated can make all the difference when it comes time to sell. Now let's be realistic. Most 2004 D pennies are not going to make you a millionaire. But some might be worth $50, $100, or even several $1,000s, especially if they're in pristine condition or have a notable error. And even if you don't strike it rich, coin hunting is a fun, educational, and potentially profitable hobby. It connects you with history, art, economics, and even chemistry. Plus, it keeps you looking closely at something most people ignore. So who knows? The next time you get change at the store, take a closer look at your pennies. That copper coin you almost tossed in the tip jar might just be your ticket to the good life. Thanks for sticking around for this deep dive into the world of the 2004 D Lincoln penny. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, I hope this video opened your eyes to the possibilities hiding in plain sight. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content on rare coins and collectibles, and let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare penny? Do you think the $8 million 2004 D penny is real, or just a legend? Either way, keep hunting, stay curious, and until next time, happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like a version with a more sensational or clickbait style, or if you want to turn this into a video outline, script with scene directions, or even narrated voice-over text. Back to the channel. If you're into coins, numismatics, or just love a good treasure hunt, then you're in for something really fascinating today. Because we're diving deep, very deep, into one little coin that's been making headlines, sparking debates, and even attracting attention from serious collectors, investors, and coin hunters all across the country and even internationally. I'm talking about the humble yet extraordinary 2022 D Lincoln penny. That's right, a coin worth 1 cent, but with some versions reportedly fetching astronomical figures in the collector's market. And I do mean astronomical. We're talking about alleged offers and estimates ranging all the way up to $8 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? So let's unravel it all. Let's begin with the basics. The 2022 D Lincoln cent is a regular issue coin minted by the United States Mint in Denver, Colorado. That little D mint mark under the year is what identifies it. Now, as most of you know, the Lincoln cent has been in circulation for over a century, since 1909, to be exact, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. And over the decades, it has undergone several design changes, metal composition shifts, and minting innovations. From wheat ears to the memorial reverse to the modern shield design, the Lincoln penny has evolved alongside America. But the 2022 D version holds something unique. On the surface, it seems like any other penny you might find in your pocket change. It's made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, like most modern pennies post-1982, and features the familiar image of President Lincoln on the obverse, with the Union shield on the reverse. But the story starts to change when we dig deeper into what's been happening with some of the 2022 D Lincoln cents. Now, let's talk mintage. The Denver Mint struck billions of these coins. Yes, billions. So from a pure numbers perspective, the 2022 D penny is not rare, at least not inherently. But, and this is where it gets interesting, not all coins come off the press perfectly. In fact, some coins come off the press with mistakes, abnormalities, or even deliberate test features that never make it into public release. And that's where the intrigue begins. Reports began surfacing in late 2022 and into 2023 about certain 2022 D Lincoln cents that were showing bizarre characteristics. Double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and more importantly, certain rare variants with microscopic die markings, doubled mint marks, and in at least one case, an experimental reverse with differences in the design lines on the shield. This sent collectors into a frenzy. People started pulling 2022 D pennies from rolls, jars, bank boxes, anywhere they could find them, and scrutinizing them under microscopes, hoping to spot something special. And here's where it goes from quirky to astonishing. One such 2022 D Lincoln cent was reportedly auctioned in a private deal, not a public auction, mind you, but a quiet collector-to-collector transaction, for an alleged $8 million. The coin in question was said to feature an extremely rare double die obverse, an inverted mint mark, and die clash errors that had never been documented before. While some skeptics believe the price might be exaggerated or even fabricated, others insist the coin is real and was part of an experimental test batch that was accidentally released into circulation. If true, that would make it one of the rarest modern-era coins in U.S. history. Of course, this rumor alone caused a wave of searches. Social media blew up. Reddit threads popped off. Coin hunting YouTube channels raked in views by the millions as everyone raced to check their pocket change, their piggy banks, their sock drawers, and their coin jars, all hoping they might have a jackpot hiding in plain sight. And even if you didn't have the $8 million coin, people were still finding verified 2022 D penny errors selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars on auction sites and collector forums. The coin had officially gone from ordinary to legendary. But how is this even possible? Why would a modern penny, something minted by the billions, be worth anything at all, let alone millions? To answer that, we need to talk about the world of numismatic value. Coin collectors don't just look at face value, they look at rarity, condition, historical significance, mint errors, and provenance. A coin that's otherwise common can become priceless if it's the only one of its kind, or even one of a handful. And in the case of the 2022 D penny, it's the specific error variants, or test strikes, or misprinted dies, that have turned this common coin into a potential golden goose. We're talking about MS-70 grades, flawless coins right out of sealed mint bags. We're talking about rare die cracks that form patterns or markings that almost look intentional. We're talking about coins that escaped normal quality control for unknown reasons. And let's not forget about speculative value. When hype builds and demand rises, prices follow, even if only temporarily. Some coins become valuable simply because enough people believe they are. The 2022 D penny has reached that fever pitch. Everyone wants to believe there's still gold in the river, so to speak. That you can still pull a miracle coin out of a bank roll or a cup holder. But now let's be real. The vast majority of 2022 Lincoln pennies are still worth, well, 1 cent. Maybe 2 cents if you melt the zinc, but don't try that, it's illegal. So if you're serious about coin hunting, you'll need patience, knowledge, and tools. A good loupe or magnifier. A reference guide to known errors. And time. Lots of time. But even so, the idea that a coin minted just a couple years ago could become one of the most talked about modern coins in the world is pretty incredible. So what should you be looking for? Here's what's been documented or rumored so far. Look for doubling in the letters of Liberty, or In God We Trust. Look for any die clash marks or ghost impressions of the reverse on the obverse. Check for any anomalies in the shield design, broken lines, extra lines, or missing segments. Examine the mint mark under high magnification. Is it doubled? Tilted? Out of position? And don't forget to check for off-center strikes. These are easier to spot and can command good money if they're dramatic enough. Also, check for planchet errors, coins that seem too light or too heavy, or look like they're struck on the wrong metal. If you find a 2022 penny that looks silver instead of copper-colored, don't dismiss it. It might be plated, or it might be a real test strike on a different planchet. And while we're at it, check for coins with a floating roof on the Lincoln Memorial design, not applicable on the 2022 coin, but useful for older cents. And if you're submitting coins for grading, always go with a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade and error designation is what turns a cool find into a serious investment. Now, back to that $8 million figure. Do I believe a 2022 penny sold for that much? Honestly, we have no public proof. But could a rare experimental die strike, with a major error, perfect condition, and authenticated provenance, be worth millions someday? Absolutely. Stranger things have happened in the world of coins. The 1943 copper penny sold for over $1 million. The 1794 flowing hair dollar hit $10 million. When rarity meets demand and historical intrigue, the sky's the limit. So here's the takeaway: check your change. Always. Especially modern coins that seem too ordinary to matter. Because sometimes, the next $1 million rarity isn't hiding in a vault or museum, it's sitting in your pocket. The 2022 Lincoln penny is proof that even in the age of digital money, physical coins still have secrets to tell. Whether it's a mass production anomaly or an intentional mint experiment, we may never know exactly what caused the rare errors in some of these coins. But one thing's for sure, the hunt is on. And you could be next to find something incredible. So get out your magnifier, grab a roll of pennies, and start searching. Because history is still being made, 1 cent at a time. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one making headlines with the next big find. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, share with your fellow coin hunters, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the world of numismatics. Until next time, happy hunting. If you want this script broken into shorter segments for voiceover or edited to include visuals, transitions, or calls to action throughout the video, just let me know.